Alia. This is Liz. She'll be helping me out. So, of course, today we're going to be learning how to use Libby. So we're going to start with all the basics. I mentioned it a little bit ago. This first part will be a little bit of a walkthrough. We'll show you some of the basics. And then afterwards, if you guys have any additional questions, we'll do some one-on-one time with you guys and you can see what we can help you with. So first, what we're going to want to do is download the app. If you already have it downloaded, you're ahead of the game. Otherwise, we can start getting you downloaded now. So most of you are on your screen. You're going to see at the bottom here, there are 5 icons. So we're going to start first with this one that looks like a library. So that second button right there. If we click on that, that will pull up. So you'll see up here, we have these different tags. So there's newest, popular, random, available now. So those right there are going to be a way to search some of our books without having a title or an author. So the available now, that will show you everything that you can check out right now. There's not any holds on it, so you can read it immediately. This little 3-line thing right here, when you click on that, this will show you any filters you can do. So if you only are wanting to read romance books, if you select that, that's going to show you anything that just has the genre for romance. There's also a way to search by format. So we do have both ebooks and audiobooks. So the audiobooks would be the ones where it reads it to you. Otherwise, the ebooks are ones you can physically read yourself. So if you have a preference, if you definitely don't want audiobooks to show up, you can just click books. That'll show you only books then. Again, there is that available now. So if you want to be able to read it right away, don't want to have to wait. And then we do also have the sort by either popularity, date added, release date, or random. I think that's kind of nice. So especially like with the release date, if you're wanting to see the newest stuff that has come out, if you don't want to read stuff that's older, you can do that. Otherwise, popularity, that's going to show you what's popular in our library, what people are checking out a lot, what people are interested in. And then we also have audience down here. That will have age ranges. So mature content, that would be books for adults. We also have juvenile and young adult if you're wanting to look for stuff for younger age ranges. And then there also is languages. So I'm assuming most of you are wanting to read English books, but let's say you are learning a language, you want to read a book that's in a different language. There is that option too. So we have some of those there, but otherwise, if we close out of that there, let's see. If you start to scroll down on this same tab, you'll see there are lists of books. So this will kind of be like a book display you would see here in the library, where like right now we have a mental health display. We also have a historical fiction. This is like that same thing. So you can see here, this one is an Asian American and Pacific Islander book. So there is a whole bunch of books there. We also have a display down here for Mother's Day. So scrolling through these or just added books. So this would show you any books that are popular for either holidays that are coming up or special events. So if you're not sure what you want to read, it's always kind of fun to scroll through there and see what books are available that other people are reading. So yeah, I can see they have a mental health awareness one just like we do out there. So next, we're going to go over this search button. If we click that magnifying glass, that's going to lead you here to where you can search for books. So here you can search by title or author, depending on what you're looking for. So today I am going to search for The Big Bad Wolf by James Patterson. Oops, if I can spell. So we'll just type in that title. And so here you can see it's pulling up. We have it as a physical book, and then we also, or not a physical book, an ebook, and then we also have it as an audiobook. And so the way you can tell whether it's an ebook or an audiobook, you can see below this audiobook here, there is a headphone, and then it says 8 hours. So that's letting you know that that's an audiobook, and it will be 8 hours long. We can also see here, this one, the ebook says borrow. So that means you could check it out right now and start reading it. where the audiobook here says place a hold. So if we hit place a hold, this is going to let you put it on hold like you would a physical book. And so you can see here it says there's about a 2-week wait. So only one person has it checked out right now. If we place it on hold, that is going to let you be the next person that gets it. So as soon as the person who's reading it right now returns it, you'll be the next one that will be able to check that out. And it's going to send you a notification saying this book is ready to be checked out. Once you get that notification that it's ready to be checked out, you will have 3 days to check it out. If you don't check it out within that 3 days, it will move it on to the next person if there's another person in line. So you do kind of want to make sure you're paying attention and getting in there within that 3 days to check that out. So I'm going to hit keep browsing. So yeah, you can see up here also where it says first in line. So sometimes books will have a little bit of longer wait, especially if they're super popular. So keep browsing. So here this ebook, you can see it is ready to check out. So I'm going to select borrow. And so then here it says borrowing for, and it says 14 days. If you click on that 14 days, there are 3 options. You can check it out for 7 days, 14 days, or 21 days. So if you're wanting to be able to check out for that full 3 weeks to give you that extra time, click that 21 days. And so then we'll borrow that. And like physical books, you can renew these books so long as no one else is waiting on them. If someone is waiting on them, it will automatically send it to the next person. So it's not something where you can hold on to it longer. It will automatically move on. So
you put your name in again, or
yep. So then
put you in queue for
yep. So you can put yourself on hold for it again if it were to go to the next person. So then you can always get that back again. So let's see. So we're gonna open this book here. So here it's saying you can either read with a Kindle or with Libby. So this would be the section where if you have a Kindle device where you're wanting to send books to your Kindle, you would select Kindle and then it would have you send that book specifically to it. For today, we are going to click Libby because we will be reading with the app. So let's hit Libby. So I'll let it load here. It might be a little slow. Okay, here we go. So when it first opens up, you'll see a couple menus here. At the bottom right here, you can see it says 0%. That shows that we're at the very beginning of the book. As you read it, that percentage will show. And then also, once it actually loads, it'll show you how many pages there are and what page you are on right here. Oh, there we go. So now you can see we're on page 1 to 2 of 676. So then also up here, this is where you can customize some of your reading. So if we click on this A, this text scale will allow you to either make your font bigger or smaller. So if you need the font to be a little bit bigger, you can scale that up as big as you need to make it readable. Also, where it says include accessible sizes, if I have it all the way up here and then I click include accessible sizes, you'll see it allows you to have even more bigger text. So if you really need that really big text, make sure you select that include accessibility sizes. We also have lighting here. So right now it is on bright, so it's kind of that white background. We do have the sepia background, so that's a little bit of a warmer tone. And then we also have dark, where that will have it black. So depending on what kind of scale you want that. But then if we click into here, clicking on either side of the page is what will cause the page to move. So if we click on the right side of the page here, that's going to move your pages. So if you need to go back, then we'd hit that left side again. That'll have you go back. Otherwise, if you're wanting to pull up that menu again, because you can see that menu went away, if you select right in the middle of the page, that will pull that menu back up if you're needing to see that. Right here, this little bookmark, if you select that, that will essentially bookmark that page. When you're reading, it will save where you are at in the book. So when you close out of it and open back in, it will automatically go back to the page you were at. However, if you're wanting to bookmark a page that you want to go back to later, that would be where you'd want to use this bookmark. Let's see if I'm missing anything. All right, so then let's just go back here. So when we go back, now you can see we are on our shelf. So this stack of books right here, that is our shelf. So that's going to show you what you have checked out right now. So here where we're at with loans, you can see right now there are 2 books checked out on here. There's this physical book that we just checked out, and then there's this audio book that I had checked out before you guys came in. But then you can see up here too, it has it separated by books or audiobooks. So if you have a whole bunch of things checked out and you just want to see the audiobooks, if you select that, that's going to show you your audiobooks. I'm going to hit back to shelf here. You can see there's also a section here for holds. So when I click on that, we had put that audiobook on hold. So that's going to show you here the audiobook you have on hold. It's also going to let you know how many weeks approximately until it comes back. So it looks like 2 weeks there. And then we'll go back. Oops. I can't accident shelf. And then one of the differences, if you had used Overdrive in the past, one of the differences with Libby is that they have this tag option. So if you go to tags, you can see right now it automatically has created a tag letting me know all the things I've borrowed. But here you are actually able to create tags. So let's say you want to make a list of all the books you want to read. You would be able to add books to that, and so that way you can find them later. Or like if you want to have like some sort of recommendations where like so-and-so recommended this to me, you can make a specific tab for that to keep track of some of the books you have. So that will be in your shelf. So then let's go back to loans. So we're gonna now open up an audiobook here. So we open that. And the great thing about audiobooks too on here is if you have your phone with you, let's say in your car, and you want to hook it up and listen while you're driving, Libby will allow you to do that. It also hooks up with any sort of headphones. The Sonos speakers, if you have it like those that you can hook up in your house, if you want to have it hooked up to those, it's compatible with that as well. So you can essentially listen to these books anywhere. So again, it pulls up that same sort of menu here that it did with the physical book, where you can hit play. It's going to show you where you're at. And then I'll actually hit play here so you can kind of see. So if you, as it starts to go, you can see this little tab right here. As it moves through, that's going to show you where you're at in the book. So it's also here with these arrows. You can see it says 1 minute back. So that means we've listened for about a minute. Where here where it says 7 minutes, that means there's 7 minutes left of that chapter. So if you want to know where you're at, like you want to stop right at the end of this chapter, you can see we have 7 minutes left. So if you want to quickly get in that 7 minutes to get to that next chapter, we can. There also here is that this 15 with the arrow pointing this way and the 15 with the arrow pointing that way, that's going to allow you to fast forward or rewind. So if you're wanting to go 15 seconds in the future, if you're like, this is really boring, I just want to get to the next part, you can fast forward 15 seconds. Otherwise, if you've missed something and you just want to listen to it again, you can also rewind that. Up here, this little dial, this will let you speed things up. So sometimes some audiobook talkers, they're really slow and you just want to have them talk a little bit faster. You can speed up the amount of talking. So you can see here, this is at 2 times speed. So it's going to be quite a bit faster. You can get all the way up to 3 times speed. Now this one's pretty fast. Most people probably won't listen to it this fast. It can be kind of hard to hear. But then also you can slow it down too. If you think the audiobook person is talking way too fast, you can slow it down so it's a little easier to absorb that. Sometimes it's hard to catch all that. So let's enter that. And so then this little bookmark tab here, again, this would allow you to bookmark a section if you're wanting to go back to it. If you feel like you missed something, you just need to listen to it again. You can bookmark that there. So here, let's bookmark this one here. So then when you pull that up, now you can see it'll say you bookmarked today at 12 seconds. So once you've actually bookmarked it, it'll show up when you click that bookmark. And then you can see it also does say highlights. With audiobooks, you won't actually be able to highlight, but if we go back into like physical book, you are able to highlight certain passages if you're interested in them. So we would look at your bookmarks. Let me pull that up. when you would look at your bookmarks, it would also show you that there's a highlight somewhere. So then you can see what you've highlighted as well. So that will allow you to do that. Let's see. Also, so with the app, like I was saying, you can listen to it in your car. So if you have your app open, hit play on an audiobook, and then you were to go to a different app, it will continue to play until either you completely close out of that app or hit pause. So it will continue to play if you want to do something else while you're also listening to that book. So that is also another thing that's different from the Overdrive app. With the Overdrive app, you had to stay within the app to keep listening to it. If you were to have your screen black or something like that, it wouldn't continue to play. So that's really beneficial then if you want to kind of do more than one thing at once. Let's go back here. So we're going to go back. So then now you can see at the bottom here, now that we've started to read something, there is a book here that's popped up. So that's going to show you the book that you've most recently been reading. So then if you don't want to have to go all the way back into your shelf, you can just automatically click on that title and it'll take you straight back where you had left off. So you don't have to go back and find that. Otherwise, this last button right here with the little clock, this is your timeline. That's going to show you your history. Everything that you have checked out from Libby will show up here. So you can see we've checked out 2 things on this card. We've put a hold on 1 thing. So if you're remembering, like, I read a book a couple weeks ago, I can't remember what the title was. If you go back into your timeline, that'll let you see what you had checked out at that time. And you can even see here, it says borrowed for 21 days. Once you've returned it, it will have a comment that says returned on, and it'll have that date too. So it makes it a little bit easier to find that. So this middle button right here with the 3 lines, this is going to show you your card. So you can see you probably all have just one card here where it says South Dakota Digital Consortium. So if you have multiple cards, like if you have a spouse or a grandkid or a child or anything like that that also has a library card and you want to hook theirs up as well, this would show you all the cards that you have hooked up from our library. Also, if you have a library card from a different library that also has Libby, you would be able to add a library and add an additional card from that library, so then you can check out between both at the same time. And that's also another feature that's different from the Overdrive app. The Overdrive app, you could only be in that one library card at a time. So this is really nice. I like to use it. I have my boyfriend's on mine, so that way I can check out twice the amount of books because he doesn't use his as much. So I think it's an added perk. But so, and again, like if say you go to Vermilion or something and you have a Vermilion library card, you can be using both of those at the same time. So that is a really added benefit there. We're going to go down to the settings here. So if we click on accessibility features here, let's see. So you can see here, there's some different effects. You have it figured out? Okay. So there are some different effects you can have here. Reduce text variation. If, like sometimes with different fonts, if there's stuff bolded or italicized, that can make it a little bit difficult to read. You can have it, if you click that, that's going to make all your text look exactly the same. So there's not going to be any bolds or italicists. If for some reason there's a book that has some sort of motion in it and you don't want that motion, if that messes with you, you can turn that off. Let's go back. Let's see. With notifications. And so now here, I know we had mentioned with how notifications work. So this is going to list all the notifications you can get. So like, let's say your hold is ready. How do you want to be alerted? So you can either ignore. If you select that, then you're not going to be getting any alert for that, which I'm sure you'd want that alert. You can have menu badge. So that's the one where it's going to be an in-app notification, where in the app it'll show you that you have it. Otherwise, here where it says email notification, we can select that. So then that will send you an email. With that though, you will want to specify an email. So you can see here where it says fix this. that will let you put in an email, because you do have to have an email attached, of course, for it to be able to send you an email. But you can see there's a lot of different things that it can alert you with. So even with loan expiring, so if you're getting like 3 days until the loan's going to expire, if you want that notification, you can get that notification. So that will remind you to either renew it, or you can see if it's on hold for someone else and you really need to read that fast then. And then the final thing here, let's see, customized navigation. If we do this where you see here where it says labeled icons, this will label these icons on the bottom of the screen. That might make it a little bit more helpful for you to know which thing is which, where before it just had the magnifying glass, now you can see it says search. So if that makes it a little bit easier for you to know what each of those menus mean, that is a great thing to turn on.
Is there a way to search for a specific author or title?
Yep, so in that search bar, that first search bar, let's go back. So in there where I like put that title there, that's where you would either search by title or author, and that will show up anything that comes up by that title or author.
If you're done with the book earlier than when it
Yes.
has to be returned.
Yes, you can return things early. So you can see this book, it says manage loan. If you select that, it will allow you to return it early. So if you want it, because especially I think you can only have 8 things checked out and 8 holds at a time. So let's say you have all 8 and you want to get rid of that one so you can check out another one, you can definitely turn that in early. Let's see, this is kind of a newer feature where, let's see. See if there's a way. I'm trying to think of a book that we don't have. Well, I'll just do this book, but so we have this book, but when you click these 3 lines, if you were to scroll down here, it says deep search. So this is going to show you stuff that even we don't have, but we could get. So here, there's that little bell and it says notify me. So that's showing you we do not have it, but if you want to have it notify you if we potentially get it, we can tag that, and that would let you know if we were to buy it. And so that's one way you can let us know, like, that's something we want to read and we can purchase that. But the quickest way to get us to buy something would be to ask us. We can always put in requests for either ebooks or audiobooks if it's something that we don't have. Yes, absolutely. We want to know what you guys want to read. So if it's something that we don't have, we can always put that in the system. Any other questions?
So magazines and what
So,
other, yes.
We used to have access to magazines. That was something I guess wasn't getting used a lot, so they did take that away. So our current library, I think South Dakota as a whole just doesn't have access to magazines anymore. Some states still do, but yeah, that's something we don't unfortunately offer anymore.